Exactly. You're not the only person who is surprised that the events that occurred between basically Friday to now have pushed oil prices down this much. I think that that is probably a sign that it's not just geopolitical events. I mean, right now we have the same issues going on in the Strait of Hormuz that we've had for a while. There is a U.S. blockade. There's Iran also not letting ships through. We've got mines. Apparently, another ship hit a mine and there was damaged over the weekend. We've also got issues in the Red Sea. The Houthis have threatened Saudi oil. We've seen a lot of tankers and other ships lose insurance coverage now. And so they're now having to add, they used to be going around Saudi Arabia, going into the Red Sea, picking up oil, coming out. That adds a little bit of time if you're going to Asia. Now they've got to go all the way around Africa, essentially, and pick up oil in the Mediterranean that's either gone through the Suez Canal or along a pipeline there. So they're adding a lot of time. We've got outages from Kazakhstan. They're outages, their oil is now down about half. They're only exporting about half as much as they were. We have now reports just this morning of some damage to Saudi oil infrastructure along the East-West pipeline. Some pumping stations appear to be damaged. A refinery is damaged. We're waiting for more information, but all of this actually says that supply is down as opposed to up, and yet oil prices are down. And so it certainly seems like really what we should be seeing is an increase in oil prices, not a decline.
Ellen, if I'm Iran, don't I need the Strait of Hormuz open as much or more than anybody? Or do I have other ways to get my oil out of the country?
So they really have very few options to get their oil out of the country. It's not really feasible for them to ship it, by rail out the other side of the country. They're not set up to do that. So yes, they do need the Strait of Hormuz to be open. They need to be able to use the Strait of Hormuz. That's why, every time Iran before this incident would threaten to close the Strait of Hormuz, it was always kind of it didn't really make sense because if they're going to not let anyone send oil out of the Strait of Hormuz, then Iran's oil would presumably be stuck as well. And so I think we've gotten to the point where they got some oil out. They've got this breathing room. And so they just don't see any reason to, they don't have the same kind of pressure on them to work out a solution.
How are the oil importers reacting? And I wonder if the way that they're reacting has any impact on oil prices and how they move.
So it's very interesting. What we've seen from China is that China is a big importer of Middle East oil. Now, if this conflict had happened, 20 years ago, we'd be in a very different situation because back then the West, particularly the United States, was much more dependent on Middle Eastern oil. But now it's Asia, especially China, that's the big customer for this Middle Eastern oil. And so what we've seen is that China has cut their imports quite a bit since this started happening. And that's definitely given the market more breathing room. But this is not a situation that seems to be able to last forever. It's not necessarily due to major declines in consumption, for example. They're probably tapping some of their reserves, but this can't continue, go on indefinitely. And at some point, they are going to increase. They're going to increase their imports. They have increased it somewhat. That's what some of the early data is showing, but it's unclear whether that's going to hold since there's been so much fluctuation in prices recently.
So what is Saudi Arabia doing here? Can they take care of their distribution through their pipeline, or do they need the Strait of Hormuz open? I'm just wondering about some of the neighbors in that part of the world, what kind of pressure they can put on both sides, Iran and the U.S.
So Saudi Arabia is probably in the best situation of any of the oil exporters in the Middle East. Not only are they blessed with incredible geography, which they have taken advantage of. I mean, they really, if you want to talk about being prepared for something like this, Aramco and the Saudis were very well prepared. They've got this east-west pipeline, so they can pump oil in, one part of the country and ship it all the way across the country to basically their ports in the Red Sea, which was working great. Now, the pipelines aren't set up for the same capacity that they would normally be shipping out of the Persian Gulf, but they were able to maintain, sales. They were able to get oil to their customers, in terms of the contracts that they've already have in place. The problem now is that if these facilities are being attacked, then they're really potentially going to be hurt now. Plus, they can send oil out of the Red Sea, but if the Houthis are threatening them, then they've got to send it north to the Suez Canal. And the Suez Canal is not equipped to handle a fully laden, very large crude carrier. So that ship has got to either offload some oil or they've got to split it into two smaller ships because we do not want to see a repeat of getting a ship stuck in the Suez Canal.
No, you don't. Before we let you go, Ellen, just a final question. Does OPEC or OPEC Plus, which is OPEC and its allies, do they matter at all in everything we're talking about here?
It's a really good question. I actually argued recently that they don't. Essentially, they don't matter. There's really nothing they can do at this point that can help the situation. They've got to just wait it out until things open up because there's really very little they can do. They can put through production increase after production increase, but at a certain point, there's just no more oil that they can increase because if no one can ship it, then they've got to shut it in. So really, OPEC is in the same kind of waiting game.